I'm into the zone too. Take on Vlogmas Day 6. And we are doing Rate My Palettes. So, give me a second. I have my palettes right here. I'm going to go through them and rate them. And I'll let you know what I think about that palette and how good it is. If I think it's good or if I think it's bad. You know what I mean? Would I use this palette again? Or would I repurchase this palette again? Or would I not repurchase this palette, basically? But I will be doing a palette declutter in this Vlogmas. But not anytime soon. Starting with, you all know I'm madly in love with Juvia's Place. So, getting into palettes. This is a Juvia's Place New Brand Royal palette. This is my, I want to say one of my, either I bought this or my son Joshua bought me this palette because his favorite color is purple. I'm kind of thinking he bought it for me. 122-21. And I love New Brand. I love this New Brand palette. I love Juvia's Place. Juvia's Place, if you're watching this video, sweetheart, your palettes are the bomb diggity bomb. For this week, this 2 weeks in Shop My Stash, I have the No Man palette by Juvia's Place. This, everybody says is a good fall palette, which it is a very good fall palette. But since I have my Jeffree Star palette, I'm gonna rate this palette a 1. Because actually this palette, rating my palettes, this is a good palette. This palette I definitely love. And I thought, why not use these two together? And I was thinking, this shade right here would go beautiful with these two shades here as well. Mostly this shade here. And I'm like, okay, that's what we're going to do. And these both are in, not Project Pan, but in Shop My Stash. And I love the No Man palette. I would have to say, out of all the Juvia's Place palettes, and it was my very first Juvia's Place palette I ever got was I think it was the New Brand palette, the first one. That is my favorite of all time of Juvia's Place palettes. I so love that palette so much. Now getting into back to this palette. A lot of people have said bad things about James Charles. A lot of people have said bad things about Jeffree Star, and they were talking bad about Jaclyn Hill, which I don't like talking bad about people. I don't know what the deal was with the things with the palettes and everything and the way it went down, or how y'all started dissing them and not liking them and what the story is about, because I really don't care. But I can say this palette is a good palette. It's not really the palette I was ordering. I wanted the Jawbreaker palette, but they sent me this one instead of the Jawbreaker palette because the picture showed the Jawbreaker palette, and I got this one instead, which is okay. I do like this palette. Don't get me wrong. This one, I bought this one at a dollar store for, I think it was $2. $2 for this palette. $2.50, $1.50, something like that. It's the Phase 1 Cosmetic Glamour Eyeshadow Blush Palette. This palette is a nice palette. I'm not going to say if you are into neutral tones, this palette will be for you. As you notice, I've finished up one shade, pan 2 shades, Panda Blush. The blushes aren't bad. This eyeshadow palette's not bad at all. But it is something I am going to literally say I would not go back to the 99-cent store and repurchase this palette. I do want to go to the 99-cent store because they do have a blush palette there by this brand. I just want to get the blush palette. And then I think they have a highlighter and a contour palette I like to pick up and check them out. But this one I would not repurchase again. I do have this in one of my giveaways that I'm doing on this channel because I bought one. And I thought it would be nice to, you know, get one and put it in the giveaway. Anyway, the next palette is my James Charles. When I got this for Christmas, I was so ecstatic because I've been after this palette ever since it came out. Oh, I want that palette. I love the shades. I love the colors. I have panned 3 shades out of here. I panned the red shade. Well, actually, I panned this shade first. But I could have sworn I was going to pan the red shade first. But I did get the red shade panned because I was constantly using that red shade. Just look at the shade. This red shade, just look at it. Okay? That is gorgeous. That red shade is gorgeous. And this shade here, I use it in the corner of my eye all the time when I use this palette. I always put it in the corner of my eye. And I never thought I'd pan it until now. If I had to rate James Charles palette, I would have to put it up there between 1 and 3 because it is a good palette. I do like it. For this palette, I'm going to put it down low. 1 is good. 10, well, okay, let's do it this way. 1 through 5 is good, and 6 on up is like, so you're rating this, well, actually, no. I would rate this 10. Let's go 1 being the, well, I don't know. How would I rate it? Would I rate it, like I said, I want 2 or 3, or should I rate it at 8, 9, or 10? Let's go 8, 9, and 10 is high, which is good, and 1 through whatever is like so-so. So we'll go 1 through 5 is so-so, and 6 through 10 is up there. So this is 6 through 10. This one is 1 through 5. 6 through 10. And both of these are 6 through 10s. So 6 through 10s are good. 1 through 5s we'll say are so-so. Let me put those down. Okay, I have this palette. My daughter bought me these for Christmas one year. It's makeup set, and I still have 1 palette left. Or, no, I have 1 left. This one is by the Color Workshop. Love Struck is what this palette is called, as you can tell. I have panned 2 shades. This is a pretty shade if you like pinks and purples, but I'm going to say this is mostly a pinch myself, purple looking shade. And I really like these 2 purple shades in the middle, like pinkish purple. And I did like them shades. If I had to rate the Color Workshop, their shadows are good. They last long. But I'm going to put this in the pile for 1 through 5. Saying I would not purchase it again. I like them, but there are some by them that I did like more than this one. I do have 1 more of these, but it's over here somewhere. But these palettes I got off a Wish. I'm actually going to put these in the pile of 6 through 10 because I would repurchase these. These are just like the Huda Beauty palettes. They're gorgeous. They're beautiful. I like them. Now, this one I would put in through 6 through 10 because I like the reds. I like the glitters. I like this palette. Here is gorgeous. Then you have this one, which is actually the green palette. They say they last 24 months, but I've had these for a while. This one I love as well. They don't have, wait a second. They don't have a name of what the palette is, but that's what it's by. And if you can see the back here, there's a website you can go and look these up at too and see what type of makeup they have. But these palettes are like so gorgeous. This green here, I loved it. When I got that palette, I could not wait to use that green, and I literally was using that green for a while. But you can tell in the dips of the palette of what I actually used to more of. This video is going to be long, and I'm not going to make this Vlogmas Day in 2 parts. I want to get it all done. I have the purple one. The purples are gorgeous, and this one right here is about to be panned because it is really hitting rock bottom. And the one next door to it, these 2 shades are about to hit pan. Love it. Okay. And these, like I said, these palettes go from 6 to 10. Now this palette my son bought me 1 year for my, I think, Mother's Day. And this is the BYS eyeshadow palette, and it's the peach palette. And I did pan some shades in here. There's 3 shades in here panned. I like this palette. So, it did smell like peaches, just like the Too Faced Sweet Peach. It did smell like peaches when you open it up. Not like the peaches scent in that one, but a little bit different peach scent. So I'm actually going to put this in 6 through 10 because that's a palette that I probably would repurchase again. I got this one from a friend on YouTube and Facebook. And it's the BH Cosmetic Palette. Now this palette's just about totally done, so this palette is definitely going to go in my empties, my declutter. But I would rate this palette in the 6 to 10 because I love BH Cosmetics. And this palette, as you can tell how much I used it, it was beautiful. This is a shade that really caught my eye when she gave me the palette. I may see if I can't, the shades that have not been used in this palette, I might try to see if I can't turn this into a Z palette. And like pop out the colors that, you know, maybe the colors that are dead and been gone, and just keep the palette and put some other shades that I have in other palettes that might be this size that I want to put in here. But that one is a 6 through 10. This one as well. This is the LA Color Christie Eyeshadow Palette. And I did pan 3 shades. This caught my eye at Family Dollar one day, and I picked it up, and I ended up getting all of them. And I showed it to my cousin, and she went and got all of them as well, the ones that she mainly wanted. This one she did not buy because she didn't like the colors in it, but she bought the nude one. I would say this one is a 6 through 10 because these shadows, just look how gorgeous that is. These shadows are like really tremendously gorgeous, and I just love them so much. I really, really like this palette. This palette, I want to believe, was $6 or $8. So that's not bad. And then we have this one, Amuse. I like this palette. I will be keeping this palette because I'm halfway done. This was given to me by the same person that gave me the BH Cosmetic palette. You can tell how much I used it. I would have to rate this palette. I am going to put this palette in the palettes for 1 to 5. Because if I had to rate this palette, I'd probably give it a 5. So it's not bad, but it's not that good either, but it's okay. Then I have another good palette I like, and I got this one off of Wish, and it's the same brand as these palettes. This one is called Chill Baby, and just I panned a couple shades, finished off one and have the other one. I would probably, I don't know if I'd repurchase this or not. I'm not too for sure. I'm going to put this in the 1 through 5. I'd probably give this a 5, saying it's not bad, but it's not that good, but it's good, and I would maybe or maybe not repurchase it again. Then, of course, I have two of these. This is the Wet n Wild. This is Great Gesture palette. I have panned a shade in here. I love these palettes, but if I repurchase this one again or ever wanted to rebuy it again, if I could find it, I would actually probably do it, but use it for like Halloween makeup. So like some of these palettes that I do when I do my makeup declutter, if they got a sticker on the back of them, this one does not. I will be keeping them. If they don't have a sticker, I'll be seeing if my daughter wants any of them. If she doesn't, then I'm going to donate them. So that palette would go in between the 1 to 5. The other one I have here is this one here. And of course it is a sticker on it, so I'll probably be keeping this one. So this one, I would say 1 through 5 as well. Then I have this palette. I've had this palette for so long. This one, if I could ever, this is my profusion. Now, if I could ever find this palette again, I would probably definitely repurchase it because this one is so old. I'm going to put this in between 1 and 5. It's not a bad palette. The shades in here, they're not bad. They're good shimmer shades. And the matte shades are good as well. But the matte shades are starting to get, the matte shades are, they're starting to get chunky. When they start getting chunky, I was told that the palette's going bad. And this palette, 24 months, and I've had it past 24 months. Now I have this one by Amuse. Now this palette is one that I would not be keeping again. I will probably get rid of this one as well. But if I had to rate this palette, I would probably put this palette in 1 through 5. Because it's not bad, it's good, but I just don't know. I don't know. Here's the other one. Like the other ones, this one's a blue one, and I did pan the yellow shade. I have a section on my shelf where if the palette's been panned, it goes here. If it hasn't been panned, it goes over here. So this has been panned, the yellow, and I like the shade. I really like the yellow shade. I don't have very many yellow shades in my makeup collection or eyeshadow palettes, and I like it, and I definitely love this glitter green. It's gorgeous. This one, I definitely want to repurchase, and I got this off of Amazon. I love this palette. Just look how gorgeous that palette is. What a neutral palette with a pop of color. This is a palette for you. I would rate this palette 6 to 10 because I like it. This one's another palette I got by Revlon Colorstay. I would rate this palette from 1 to 5. It is a palette, but would I repurchase this palette? No. That's why I'm putting it into 1 to 5. I would not repurchase this palette. I've tried giving this palette to friends. I've tried getting rid of it, and it's just nobody wants it. So I decided to put a sticker on it. I'll keep it, and I'll try to use it up. I may even put it in this year's project pan and try to pan it to get it out of my makeup closet. Now I don't know I'm keeping this one. And I'm not getting rid of it. This is my Too Faced Sweet Peach palette. Still smells like peaches a little bit. But I have panned 1, 2, 3, 4 shades. Finished off a shade, got another shade almost done. And I think this shade here is going to be panned soon. I definitely love this shade, this palette. But if you look at this palette, you look at some of the shades, it looks like little pebbles of rocks in some of the shades. So I think this palette's kind of going bad. So I definitely need to repurchase this. I need to see how much this is in Ulta. And I know for my anniversary, I was asking for the beautiful Mongolia perfume I want. And I may see about getting that and seeing if I can get that in this palette for my anniversary. Okay. I'm going to get into these real quick. Oh, I do have another one of the Color Workshop palettes. This is my favorite one. Definitely would keep this. And this is Color Weight. Sorry about the cough. I'm chewing gum. So I'm choking. But I love it. My Pan 2 Shades is a beautiful palette. This is my favorite gum now. And I chew on it. And it actually literally curbs my appetite. I can drink I can chew it and it not make me hungry. So I have this other LA Color palettes. This is a Glam palette. And I am keeping this palette as well. When you see my palette decolor, you'll see a lot of palettes. Because I just recently purchased this year, so I need to give it some more love and more use. But I do love these palettes, and these are like $3 or $6 at Family Dollar and Dollar General. I believe they're $3. I want to say they're like $3. Not bad at all. Then I have the Rose palette. I definitely love the Rose palette. And I love the palette. And then we have the Fire and Ice palette. There was another palette of this I had. I can't seem to find it. I had another one of these that was the neutral palette. I think I used it up already. But you have the Fire palette, like I said, Fire and Ice. If you're looking for a cheap red shades. And then you have the Ice, which is the purple shades. Then you have another one of my favorite palettes, which I definitely want to get 2 more of these. I want to put one in my makeup collection. The other one I want to put in my traveling bag. So when I travel, I can use this. This is Spice Up Your Life palette by Essence. I panned 1 shade. That's what it looks like. Very beautiful. And then I have, I'll get into my, okay, I'll go ahead and do them. This is my Juvia's Place palettes. Oh, this palette, 1 through 5. The Peach palette, 6 through 10. This palette is a 6 through 10. And this palette is a 6 through 10. And the same with these palettes are 6 through 10. As I'm rating them. All these are 6 through 10. These are my Juvia's Place palettes. I have the Eye Pretty palette. which looks like this. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Then we have the Masquerade mini palette. I think I just had this one in when I shot my stash last time. Panned this shade, but finished off this shade. Beautiful shades. I love the top row. The top row is so beautiful. And then you have the Magic Mini. I do this. Look at how gorgeous this palette is. Oh. If I could like use every shade in these palettes, I would. And I can. Then you have the Juvia's new brand Coral palette. Look how gorgeous this palette is. It's so beautiful. And all those are 6 through 10. I have this one here. I'm going to put this one in 6 through 10. This is Give 'em Shade Multi Finish. I like this palette. Actually, yeah, this is a 6 through 10 because I love the shimmers in this palette. Then I have my Pat McGrath palettes. Now I'm going to keep in this one. These are the Mentorship palettes. I don't know which one they are, but they're Mentorship. This one, I would have to put 1 to 5 because the blue is the only pretty shade in here. I don't care for the other shade, just the blue shade. And my other Pat McGrath, another Pat McGrath palette, I panned and finished up. This one is too a Mothership palette. And this one, I think this is kind of getting, but I like this palette, so I'd put this one in 1 through 10, or 6 through 10. Last but least palette, this one's also 6 through 10. Oh my god, this is Ciate London palette. I love the packaging on that. Look at that. I could probably draw that if I wanted to sit here and do it. Actually, I think my son did something like that at one time. My older son's an artist. So I did pan one shade on here, but you can tell I used the crap out of this palette. And I love it because it has a big mirror. Okay guys, that is it for this video. I have little bitty mini palettes, but I didn't want to really put those in this video, so. And I have my little elf palettes. I didn't want to put those in this video as well, but when I do my makeup declutter, my eyeshadow palette declutter vlog, I'll have my little ones in here to declutter, and I'll let you know if that's a 1 through 5 or 6 through 10. Until next time, guys, I love you and hope you have a wonderful, blessed day. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell to be notified of new more videos. And until next time, bye. For those who are new to my channel, welcome, 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 because Vlogmas Days fixing to get even better. Bye, guys.